Levante striker Karl Etta Eyong has suddenly become one of the hottest commodities on the transfer market, with Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Manchester City and Arsenal tracking him. If you're unfamiliar with Etta Eyong, you're not alone. The striker has emerged from the fringes of the Villarreal side last season to become one of La Liga's most in-form attackers at the beginning of 2025-26, having been given the opportunity of first-team football at Levante. The Cameroon striker has grasped his opportunity with both hands. In 10 La Liga appearances this season, 3 of which were for Villarreal, he has scored 6 goals and created 3 more. In the Pichichi standings, he trails only Real Madrid's Kylian Mbappé, while he is tied with Atletico Madrid's Julian Alvarez. Mundo Deportivo reports that this has sparked interest from Spain and England's biggest clubs, with Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man City, Man United and Arsenal all keen to sign him. How did a 22-year-old who moved for just €3 million in the summer manage to gain this status so quickly? Goals are the answer to this question, and plenty of them. Barca were first attracted to the player after he showed rapid progression with Villarreal B last season, scoring 19 in 30 matches. This has only continued in his early weeks in La Liga. The 5 goals he has scored so far this season include a strike against Real Madrid, while he has been constantly decisive in the opening rounds of the season. His profile, too, is an interesting one. Physically strong and good in the air, he has impressive finishing ability and significant scope for improvement. Having exploded from nowhere, he still has a relatively low transfer value. Barca looked at triggering his Villarreal release clause for €10 million in the summer but could not afford to do so. Nevertheless, this was seen as a low price to pay for someone with a big margin for improvement. The sustainability of his rise is more questionable. Etta Eyong vs La Liga strikers, overall performance, 2025-26. Plus Karl Etta Eyong name here agent club here. Data and analytics firm SciSports doesn't fancy him much. For overall performance, he is rated in the bottom third of strikers in La Liga this season. While this is echoed by a very modest average rating on SofaScore, this points to an average current overall ability, but naturally, his prolific scoring and the belief that he could be molded into a superior all-round player has clubs curious. Barcelona saw him as a market opportunity, i.e. a worthwhile gamble, more than a surefire thing. Etta Eyong's ongoing goal rush, though, has brought more and more interest, with other clubs increasingly tempted to try their luck. Transfer state of play. Etta Eyong wants an express transfer, according to Mundo Deportivo. He wants his future to be resolved in January rather than waiting until the summer. The kicker is that he has already played for 2 clubs this season and cannot, therefore, move to a third. Any team that signs him will, logically, need to loan him back to Levante until 30 June. Barcelona attempted to sign him last summer, while he was still under contract with Villarreal, but were unable to do so due to their financial constraints. They are likely to be better placed to snap him up now, and Etta Eyong has previously been spotted in club kit. Etta Eyong is prioritizing a stay in Spain and wants to play for Barcelona. He said this when the parties were talking this summer, but finally the Blaugrana rejected the possibility of paying his €10 million release clause because they had no space within their salary limit. There was no relationship, but a good relationship was forged that may bear fruit in the future, Sport said previously. Man United, meanwhile, have been tipped to bid hard for the 22-year-old. Interestingly, the number 9 has a release clause worth €30 million to La Liga clubs but €40 million to teams from the Premier League. This is another advantage for Barca, but given the financial strength of the English clubs, it is unlikely to be decisive. Levante, meanwhile, share the player's economic rights with Villarreal so will not see anything like the whole fee. Sport previously reported, the peculiarities of his transfer contract make a sale practically certain if a bid of €15 million arrives. Etta Eyong, meanwhile, has an estimated transfer value, ETV, of €7.4 million, but this has risen 50% since the start of the season and will continue to trend upwards rapidly so long as his scoring form continues. What you need to know about Karl Etta Eyong had already attracted interest from Barcelona before his explosion at Levante. Goal-scoring power and low release fee make him an attractive signing, despite questionable overall performance. Juan's deal concluded in January but has already played for 2 clubs this season, so would have to spend the second half of the season on loan at Levante. Related stories: European Golden Shoot 2025-26, Mbappé boosts chances with Clasico goal.